So I don't have a practical use for this, but I was able to actually do a quick mock-up and prototype of a DIY eBow style string driver. And all I used was off-the-shelf components that I bought on Amazon. So it all begins with the mighty LM386 amplifier. This is a pre-built circuit you can get on Amazon. They usually come in packs of 6. Comes out to like a little over $1 each. It's pretty simple. You have an internal surface-mounted trim pot, and you have an in and out and power. And all I was able to do was connect a single coil pickup to the in, that's 2 wires, a single coil pickup to the out, 2 wires, and place them on the string to drive the string. Now, you can use single coil pickups, or you can use off-the-shelf relays. So these are relays, and they're simply just a coil wound with copper wire. Very, very similar to how a pickup is wound. And all I do is I take these tiny little 3mm diameter magnets, and I place them right there. That is now a pickup. Pretty weak pickup, but a pickup nonetheless. Notice how the red LED stops, which is really super interesting. If you drive it, the LED keeps going. So check that out. Look how crazy that thing's going. It's just up and down. All right, so this is a drone that's using basically the eBow principle. So I'll be the first to admit this is not terribly practical, but it does work and it does use off-the-shelf components. And what I have here are 2 relays. And so these are off-the-shelf relays. You can get these on Amazon, you can get these on AliExpress, and they're super cheap. So basically what these relays are electromagnetic coils. So there's a coil with copper wire around it. And all I did was I grabbed these tiny little magnets here, also off the shelf. They're the standard round magnets. I took one and I put it here and another one there. So essentially what you're doing is you're making single string pickups with these relays. And it's just 2 wires, so a ground positive, a ground positive. And then for the LM386, you have one of these going into the in, which is the input, and then the output goes into the other, and that's it. And then you have a trim pot here that you can adjust. And I pretty much have this all the way to the left. It gives me the best results. Then of course I have power going into the LM386 too. And I have a single coil that's just going into a tiny little lamp here. So if you were to go online and search for an eBow schematic, you'd find one floating around, and it will have the LM386 as sort of the heart of the circuit. Now it's just the LM386, it's not the circuit board here. I'm just using this off-the-shelf one to kind of prove a point. Just to prove a concept that you can just go in to one relay, out to the other relay, and then just have some kind of pickup to pick it up, and it will drive the string. It'll drive it like a jackhammer, and it'll drive it indefinitely forever. Now, it does take a while to get started, so you do have to actually start it up. I was able to turn tuners on a guitar and it changed the pitch, but as soon as you disrupt the string in any way, like to fret it, it has to start up again. So it's a very weak eBow. Now, I'm not following the eBow schematic. I believe the schematic that's on the internet suggests that you use 2 different kind of coils, an overwound coil and an underwound one at 50 ohms, one at 8 ohms. I'm not following that at all. I just took 2 random relays and a pickup and the LM36 and it worked. So you can also do this with single coil pickups. So if you don't have relays and you had some extra single coils around, it's the same thing. Yeah, so it's working, it drives the string, but it's not very practical. Obviously it's big and bulky. The eBow is a very nice compact tool. But if you were thinking about some kind of single string drone instrument and you wanted to build this very cheaply, an eBow is quite expensive. All you need is a cheap Chinese ceramic pickup. You know, these get these anywhere, they're pretty much garbage. And you can also use a relay instead of a pickup as well. So if you had an extra relay, you could just use that as your pickup. But the idea is you could have a single string drone instrument and you can have multiple, all just droning different notes, different strings. I mean, like, theoretically you could. So obviously I'm getting a lot of the string tapping on the magnets. They have to be really close to drive the string, very close. And the string is actually kind of hopping up and down. And so it's definitely rattling off the pickups. And you can actually adjust them. So once it gets going, once you have the string driven, you can actually lower them and it'll still drive the string and it'll have less rattling, but you have to kind of, you have to manipulate that in real time. So if you had a bunch of relays, which you can get on Amazon, you could make this and you don't even need a single coil. I was just using this because I thought I was getting a little bit higher output. I probably am, but you can see that that works just as good. So let's give it some power in. Let's drive this thing. There it goes. So the pickup's doing an excellent job of picking it up, and I can actually move this a little closer to get it louder. Got like a harmonic going there. You can also adjust the trim pot. And it seems to adjust the intensity of the string. So I'll go all the way to the left and increases. And if I go all the way right, it kind of just shuts off the string for some reason. So, and then to get it going again, I usually have to kind of help it. It's rattling off this guy here. You can see if I move it away, it goes even more. There you go. But it's certainly, I'm moving in very, very tiny increments. There you go. So there's no rattling there, but now the string's going nuts. It's oscillating like crazy. So check that out. Look how crazy that thing's going. It's just up and down. So if I adjust the trim pot to the right, it'll slow it down a little bit. There it is, the relay picked up. That LED freaks me out. I have no idea why it does that. That's the oscillation from above. Pretty nuts, right? All right, let's turn off the power. So clearly this has got some potential. I just don't know what that potential is. This is not a practical instrument. It could be a great noise maker, but the beauty of it is that it's all really just inexpensive. So basically what we're talking about here are just cheap relays, and you can get a box of these on AliExpress for nothing. And then the cheap LM386 that comes, I think, packs of 6 now on Amazon. I'll put links to pretty much everything. These are 12 volt relays, so clearly if you went for something that's got more coils and maybe a little bit bigger, you could probably drive the string even crazier or get some better distance. Like right now I'm really close to this, and if I measure this, looks like I'm about 3 millimeters. Well, I'm gonna say 2.5. Let's just say 2.5 to 3 millimeters from the string. And that's too close. But once it starts driving, you can push the relay a little bit further away and it'll actually rattle less, and it'll also oscillate way more since there's nothing stopping it. And that's when you start getting to some really cool frequencies. But you need a way to be able to move this up and down easier. And so obviously I'm just using my hands, I'm using tension in this route. So this is not ideal anyway, it's just a proof of concept, just to show you that you can build a string driver. I'm not going to call it an eBow because it's certainly like very crude, but it's certainly something that can give someone some ideas. There you go. eBow with relays and an LM386. I think that this is a really good first step. I think this is a really cool drone or noise machine, but whatever practical use you come up with, I hope it's cool, and I hope you have fun. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.